we're going to talk about Nikto for scanning websites. First thing we got to do is stand up a website because we really don't want to just be scanning any company out there. We want to be very specific in what we're doing. We're testing our stuff, so make sure we have permission when you're using this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our Ubuntu VM, and if you don't already have Apache on there, there's the command to install it: sudo space apt space install space Apache 2. Then when you get done, run a system control to make sure it's running, and you can see here it says active and running right here. And once that's done, we're ready to go. So we can jump back over to our Kali VM, and you can find Nikto. I mean, if you hit the commands up here and just go to all applications and scroll down to the ends, you can find it down here. But it's a typical command line utility, so you can just open up your terminal and just go to town with it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hit this. Okay, so what we got here, this is Firefox on the Kali machine, and I went to that IP address and port 80, and you can see we get the test page for Apache. So we're ready to go. We can actually see the website from Kali, so it's on the same network. So if we just come over here and type in Nikto -help, you'll get the short help menu, or maybe not. That seems like a pretty long one. They may have changed that option. So anyway, you can see in here what all the options are. I think what we're going to do, the main one is going to be host. You always have to specify that one. So we'll do that. And of course, you could say just test it on IPv4 or just test it on IPv6, as these two would say. And then you've got a lot of other options. I think by default, this thing's going to run through and probably do a pretty decent scan. But what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and type it in, Nikto-H for host, and we're going to type in that IP address. There's no domain tied to it, obviously, since it's in a lab environment. And it's on port 80, so we're going to have to throw the port command because we want it to just check port 80. We don't want it to sit there and run, through everything on the host. And if we hit this and hit go, it's going to run through some of its tests, and ultimately it'll get done. Now this little message right here, it's saying that basically Apache 2.4.58 are not in the Nikto 2.5.0 database. And it's asking if we'd like to send that up to the people that maintain Nikto. I'm just going to put no right here. So we're done now. Now what this is telling us, okay, here, once it ran, we see the target IP, the target host name, which is going to be the IP. Now, had we went to a web page, had we done, CNN.com or whatever, you would get that as the host name, and then you would get the IP. It would resolve the IP. We're seeing it was on port 80. Here's our start time. And then what it's going to do is it's going to go through and identify what is there. So right here it's looking at, it's an Apache 2.4.58 server on Ubuntu. It's got the anti-clickjacking X-frame options header is not present. Okay, so that right there is something that, there's obviously an issue there, and it kind of gives us some documentation to go check it out. Then the next one was the X content type options header is not set. And you can see what, it gives you a little explanation about, what's bad about it. It says this could allow the user agent to render the content of the site in a different fashion, okay? And it gives you a link there as to go check that out. Then the next one is no CGI directories found, which is good, because you got CGI on there. There's always if you're allowing something to run in the context of the web server, which is typically system, that's bad. So a lot of sites use it, but yeah, it's just one more thing that you got to be careful of. Server may leak inodes via e-tags, and it goes through and explains that and gives you a link. Allowed HTTP methods are head, get, post, and options. So it went through and tested all the potential methods that there are, and it was only successful with those 4. So right here it's saying that 8102 requests, 0 errors, and 4 items reported on remote host, and it gives you the time that it finished, and it took 6 seconds. And it only tested 1 host, obviously. Now, this is all great, but if you're pen testing, you really need to, document everything very, really good, because that's part of the reporting you're going to do at the end. So if we hit, -O, there's some built-in functionality here for documenting this. When we type in the name we want to do, Ubuntu Apache 2-results. Okay, but there's more. You just can't put the name in there. You need to tell it what type of file. So -F and then txt. We're just going to have a text file here. So now when we hit it, it's going to run, and it should do the exact same thing it did last time. Gives us that little message. We're going to hit no, and now it's written it. So if we do more Ubuntu-Apache results and we hit enter, you can see we have basically the same data that we have right here. So it gives us the information, the results from this this target and on this target port. So that's all there is to Nikto. It's pretty handy, and you can turn it loose on a bunch of sites if you want to, and check them out. If you were pen testing, say a company that had 4 or 5 different websites out there, you could turn it loose on all those and get a really good idea of what's out there and what could be compromised. So that's it. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you. Thanks.